We want to welcome you to another exciting episode of Something to Think About.
Yay! Where we're salted with facts and peppered with opinion.
Every day of our lives. There used to be a show called The Days of Our Life.
Yes.
Yes.
I never looked at it, but I did hear the
I
title.
looked at it. It used to be great.
Well, I used to
heard of
look
it.
at The Edge of Night. Anybody look at that?
I remember that.
You
That's
know?
really old.
Well, you had to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was trying to keep it low so nobody said, daggone, remember that one. But anyway, we want to welcome you back, and we want to have you keep coming on back and talk to us about what's going on with you so that we can compare notes. I mean, you may be able to tell us something we can use, and we are certainly going to tell you lots that you can use. So we're going to go and start with this lovely young lady over here, Tamara, who we affectionately call Tammy.
Yeah.
And
That's
Tammy
me.
is a professional and certainly a perfectionist at her trade and hair and make it look better. And I have seen her take, 5 strands of hair on somebody's head and make it look like a wig.
Oh, wow.
All right.
So excuse mine.
She's keeping her hairdo a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
We'll show
Wet
it to
and
you
it's cold,
another day.
So, yeah.
I think I like your look personally.
Oh, I thank you.
Like I said, your beauty is way more than skin deep.
Oh. We want you.
So tell us what you want us to know about you, Tammy.
Let's see. I'm a professional cosmetologist.
Yes.
And
Yay.
thank you. I've been doing it for over 20 years.
Oh.
So, now I'm just trying to build up my craft and, make it work.
All right.
Well, all right, and we are going to do what we can to help you achieve that goal.
Yeah, there we
And
go.
if you want to send payments
Yeah.
too, it's like, no, I'm just playing.
But seriously, though,
GoFundMe account.
www.
Like the Cash App is.
Yeah. Can you want to cash at me some coins?
and these are some items to promote her work that were designed by Pastor John over here.
Yay!
And he has done an excellent job. We're going to make sure people get these cards in their hands and over the next week or so. And we'll give each of you some of them to take with you. And don't give them to people just because their hair looks jacked up, because they'll be offended. But you tell them, I'm just giving you this in case you're tired of your current stylist.
Right.
There you go.
And look out for the website, Trey Chic Hair by Tammy, which will be
right.
coming very soon.
And coming soon, we're going to tell you something about something else coming. And you're going to be excited. We're trying to keep you excited.
Yeah.
So our next panelist is Brian Briscoe.
Yeah.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, everybody.
All right, Brian, welcome back.
Welcome back.
And
Where you been?
Well, work and you know how it is. So, you just put me on the spot, though.
I sure did. I just trying to figure out.
Yeah, you gave me that look like,
Where have you been?
Trouble,
where have you
know?
been?
But yeah,
Staying out of
Darn
trouble.
it.
always staying out of trouble. So
That's what he says. But anyway, go ahead. Moving forward.
yes,
So moving forward, and then he was moving around the country a little bit, right? Weren't you
Yeah, I was
out of
down
town
in
for a while?
Raleigh, and for work and everything like that. So, so I say I make it priority. I'm gonna be here.
All
Does
right.
anybody know what your work really is? Why don't you tell us?
Well, like Tommy, he ain't got no job.
A little bit of both. But,
Tommy ain't got no
but, Yeah, I
job.
work several jobs, but my main job is I do with Family First Life Insurance, and I help people. Get their families covered. God forbid if they pass away, they want to make sure that their children and their house is paid off, or so I provide that service.
And do you run across a lot of people who don't realize how important that is to their life? I mean, there are a lot of people who say, well, heck with it, I'll be dead, then I don't care. But for the people who do care, do you find it easier to convince them to purchase a policy?
Oh yes, the people that care that a lot of times you find that they want to make sure that they're protected. You know, if something happens to them, how's their home going to get paid for so that their kids can have a place to stay, or or a lot of times that they have to move or put a for sale sign out because if they go, their income goes.
Right.
So we just wanted to. So I talk to people about the education on what's important to them. God forbid if you were to pass away today, what would you want to be taken care of? Would you want your family to have an income for the rest of their life or for how many years? Things of that they haven't think about. What kind of bills did you want paid off? Do you want your mortgage paid off? Do you want the car paid off so that they can have a place to, they can go to school or whatever case may be.
Yeah.
So,
do you find it easier to convince, when we were in our last episode, we were talking about gender equality, pretty much is what it amounts to. Do you find it easier to convince one gender over the other about what they should do to...
Generally, women sees the importance of having it. Of having family protection. Men can be a little difficult because they like say, oh, if I die, then hey, it is what it is, So yeah, it's a lot more education, and it's I tell them, what do you envision for your family,
Right.
if something were to happen to you.
And once again, we get to that part where I have to mention the gender difference. And that is, do you think as males that men have a problem with the word protection? Because every time you tell them something about protecting something, they're just like, what? Condoms, and now you're talking about life insurance, and they go,
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Talk to my wife about that.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, the most important asset that you have is your life, and people depend on you. So if something happens to you, then the life insurance is not for you. The life insurance is for your family and for the people that you leave behind.
Yes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, men don't think like that.
No.
A lot of men. I'm not going to say all men because don't eat me up, okay?
Right.
But yeah, a lot of men don't think that way.
And then while we're on the subject, just let us put a disclaimer here. When we're talking about men in general, that's all it is. It's non-specific to your particular thing. Well, don't say that about me because I protect my family. Well, we don't know you like that. And probably don't want to know you like that. But here's what you do. Just understand the disclaimer is we're not talking about you, knucklehead.
Don't take it personally.
We're not saying all men,
Right.
just some of you.
Because I'm not talking about all men because I don't know if I am. I haven't talked to all men yet. I may be talking about the same. But what I want men to do is to step up. I want them to just step up and stop worrying about whether what I said applies to everybody. Does it apply to you? If it does apply to you and you think it's a negative thing, fix it.
Right.
Because the thing is, I personally am not going to follow you around to help you figure that out.
That's right.
Because number one, at the point at which I'm doing things now, is on a different level. It's not going to be on a 25 or 30-year-old guy because they're going to react differently to most everything. But what I would want men to get to used to is protection is not a bad word, guys.
Yeah.
Even the bad words that you use now are compliments rather than negative things, but I'm not getting into that right now.
Right.
The thing that they need to understand is that if you don't want any babies, don't make any. That's
Right.
That's simple.
Does it need
It's
to be
too many
said
ways for
any
you
clearer?
not to have a baby if you don't want one.
Right.
That's true.
And women, just so I keep it equal, stop being a daggone dope. If the guy doesn't want a child, don't try to force him to have one. Because that means he's not going to care about you and not about them. When it comes to you covering your back, you should make sure you're covered at every place that you need to be covered. So stop being a jerk. And I tell all women that, because all women have that tendency to be a jerk. You know the guy
we
doesn't
always trying
want
to please
babies.
men, unfortunately.
Get over it. They're so easy to please. It's just ridiculous that you've complicated it.
Right.
Especially if they don't want to please you and you're trying to please them all the time.
All the time.
It's not fair.
Here's a good example, and I don't want to stray too much from that. But here's a good example. A woman told me that she was having trouble with her allergies. So she's allergic to a pet in her home. Her husband says the dog has to be there because that's his favorite dog. So you can sit back as a man, married to a woman for this many years, and you don't care if she's sneezing her head off?
Because you
The
want
dog
the
is more
dog
important.
there.
You want the dog in the bed with you.
Right.
He could care less if you show up.
By the actions, the dog is more important.
That's terrible.
Thank you.
Actions speak louder
No,
than
the
words.
problem is that why is the dog in the bed?
Because,
Because he doesn't care anything about the woman. That's
She
why.
had to get over it. Basically,
And she is, because what? She's still there?
Yes.
Asking the question, no doubt. No less.
But
But hold on,
you
wait a
just
minute.
said
Who's
something
the,
a
who's
minute
the
ago.
dumb
Did
one
you
though?
say she just has to get over it?
that's basically by his.
That's what he's saying.
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, because his actions saying that, look,
Like, get over it.
yeah, you know that she got an allergy, but the dog is still there.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Who's really the dumb one in this situation?
She is.
She is, not him, not the dog.
No.
She is.
Yes.
That's right.
Because why wouldn't she remove herself from that situation? Why am I going to come, get back in the bed with you and the dog and I'm allergic? You're not even thinking about yourself.
Well, see, me, I go in there and ask questions like, is the dog in the middle?
No.
I don't know what you're trying to get to in this bed, but what is,
Exactly.
But if I'm allergic, why would I go back?
Well, why would you want to be with somebody, dude, that don't care about you, as far as your health and well being?
But she don't care about herself first.
So
like a tennis
she gotta make she gotta make a decision.
Yeah.
Now they say, your serve.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm not going to sit there and I'm going to keep breaking out and sneezing my head off.
Maybe you should be dating dog owners.
Right. Right. Like,
That's hilarious. What did you say? Say it louder.
You shouldn't be dating dog owners if you're allergic to dogs.
Yeah, just put on the profile
Actually,
if you're a
yeah,
dog owner,
like-
But
hit
he
the next
did.
all right,
button.
well, maybe she found out later that she was allergic. Because sometimes you get allergic, you'd be like, where did that come from?
That's fair.
And then he found out that he really likes the dog better than he likes her. So that's how that all got started.
So he decided the dog would stay in the bed over his own girl.
Yeah.
Good thing it wasn't a
But
sheep.
that
Lord.
maybe it's a sheep. Maybe it's a sheep.
dog.
Wow, y'all going to a dangerous place.
Let's go. Boundaries, people.
Okay, yeah.
Cut it out.
Well, the thing is that, when you start talking about those things, that's a whole different show
Yeah.
with a whole different rating that we would be talking about
I mean,
because men take fetishes. Oof.
Comments expressed by these participants.
Yeah. I mean, you can fill up the Grand Canyon with the things that men have fetishes about.
Oh my gosh. I could think of something. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness,
Hey,
yes.
That what makes the world go round. So,
Yeah, but I think even the world stopped to think on some of them. I was like, what the
yeah.
is he doing? And I know as males, you have to think that too. Like, what are they doing? Because you already don't like this thing or that thing that somebody does.
Can you imagine it? Like going online, you find out the crazy fetishes that men have.
Yeah, you do.
Well, women got them too, so it's not just the men.
That's true.
Okay, but No. Okay. I don't have to disagree. Like, no.
Men are just
In
out there with
comparison,
ours.
men are
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
And I would tell you why, but I'm not gonna. I'll tell you after.
So that's a whole nother show. We keep trying to go over to the X-rated version. That's another channel that
I
we're
didn't
on.
say it was X-rated.
That's something
I
to
just-
think about after dark.
Join us on That's Something to Think About.
After dark.
Okay, children, go to bed now. But that's the idea, is that we get so bent up on male this and female that. Why can't you just learn to enjoy each other's company? This is another thing I wish they would just drop. If not drop, put it on hold. I love her, or I love him, and I treat you like crap.
Right.
Love shouldn't be defined by that treatment. If actions speak louder than words, then actions need to say, I love you, because I'm not treating you like crap. So how do you love somebody when all you're doing is causing misery to that person?
That's true.
And you, as a recipient of that misery, how do you say, he loves me? But they say it all the time. And I just want to take a brick to some of their heads, but because nobody should be able to define love as that.
Right.
So again, you always want to know why somebody loves you and what is it about you they love.
And it's like you used to say all the time that anybody can just love anybody, but caring, the C-A-R-E, caring for somebody is more deep than actually, because you're really caring, you're into what that person thinks, feels, and that being of that person. So caring sometimes outweighs love
All the time.
all the time.
And sometimes
Yeah.
I think people just infatuated just with being in love, but like they say, can't really define what the love is. Oh yeah, he loves me, she loves me. Well, what do you love about that person?
Right. And they really can't tell you.
Yeah.
I've spoken to guys on this any number of times, and I said, why are you with this woman and you've been with her for 25 years? What is it? Why are you with her? Because I love her. Well, and I said, what do you love about her? Dumb blank expression on his face. I said, well, you need to rethink that word.
And sometimes it goes back to the love language.
Yeah.
Do they speak your love language? Do they spend time with you? Do they make you a priority? You don't have to ever wonder, what's going on with them. They communicate or how they communicate with you. So it's so many different areas of, what defines what you love about a person, that if you just like, oh yeah, I love you, and like you say, you just had that blanket. We're like, okay, well, yeah, hey, we always, laughing at each other. We joke around. We play. They make sure that my needs is done, and I know her strengths. I know, they know my weaknesses, and we just compliment each other. So.
Correct. But I mean, when you get down to it, and you're talking about relationships that you're having, what is an act of not love, but an act that gets done for you personally, that makes you know that your significant other cares about you? What happens? You have an instant that you can describe in your life that keeps it clean. I'm not going to X-rated anything today. But what's that thing that somebody does for you? You're like, oh my God, that's so nice.
Well, for me, it brings all my favorite things, just knowing the things that you really love. For example, just simple like going to the store and knowing all your favorite little goodies and things shows that you really care about a person. You don't just love the person. She doesn't love him or he doesn't love her. You're caring about that person because you actually care what they think and what their wants are.
Amen. Amen.
So you can buy something as simple as, oh, I got this special bottle of water because I know you like the sparkly, fizzy taste that it gives when you drink it. Something like that shows more than just saying, oh, here you go. Here's a bottle of Perrier. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean giving them the best. It means giving them what they want.
Right. And somebody thought about you that day.
Exactly.
What about you, Tammy? Anything that a person can do to show you that they care about you?
Yes, a list of them, but I guess one thing would be
I don't know how to interpret that either,
I'm just saying it is a list of them, but one thing is like when I'm not really feeling good, you do everything in your power to try to make me feel good. You know, I don't have to say like today my back hurts. You know, if I tell you that, matter of fact, I don't even have to tell you my back hurt. You can look at me and be like, what's going on with you?
Right.
Somebody that's concerned about how you feel and how to help you.
Exactly.
You know, will stop everything because you're not feeling well.
Yeah.
We'll know when to run the right bath water with the Epsom salts and the bubbles and the
Know what
candles.
to
Yeah,
do.
just massage
Right.
your back and rid that aching and everything like that.
Oh, well, now we're getting
Now
into
we got
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, though.
That's it.
But those are what are the things that a woman can do for you? As I said, let's just keep it on this side of the X. But what
Did I start
kinds
that?
of things can a woman do for a man who usually never gets that pampering, usually never gets that caring, because the women are always expecting the men to do it.
Exactly.
So what kinds of things could a woman do to ingratiate themselves as far as you're concerned?
I think it's just the listening part because sometimes, you
Now
know,
that is gold.
yeah, because sometimes we just, you know, we like to talk, you know, but then when you listen to a person and like you were saying, that, you know, this is your favorite brand of water or, you know, stuff like that, just listening and seeing how that person communicates and stuff like that. You know, if I tell you a man's going to tell you who they are, you know.
But
since
do
you-
women ask? Do they even care what you want? It's usually,
And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You know, but then you find yourself like, hold on, I told you this, you know,
and you still won't do
you
it.
know, like,
They're not learning to listen.
yeah, you're not really like, oh,
They're
you
not
ask a
taking
question
in, right.
and you told this person a long time what you like and dislike, and you're like, hold on, I told you that before. You know, why, you know, now, lost in translation or whatever case may be, but I think that's very important, and when they
That is gold.
yeah, they're active
listen.
listening
To
and
listen.
like, okay, yeah, well, I know this is your favorite color, and you know, so that's why I got this for you, or things of that nature.
And
so,
then also listen to hear what they don't like.
exactly,
It's like men think that the thing that really gets a woman going, let me go buy her some roses.
Right.
Well, roses aren't my favorite
What if I'm
flower.
allergic to them?
You know, so why would you bring me roses if you know I don't like roses?
That's right.
But I mean, who could hate a rose? But anyway.
yeah. So
No.
yeah, knowing your favorite foods, or you know, or even if you're allergic to certain type of foods,
Right.
You know, some people are, you know,
That's smart.
that you know you can't bring them tree nuts or you know, coconut or whatever case may be because of their food allergies. So
That's right.
So they come and give it to you and say, here, blow up.
Right.
like, no, why I can't breathe? Oh yeah, let me get the epi. You know,
Somebody bring me a pillow for her.
you know.
So this woman told me about her fella who her husband of 30-something years was in the bed with her and she was snoring. So his remedy for that was to get a pillow and put it over her face.
Okay, Lord.
She comes out from under the pillow struggling, help. And he said, I'm doing this for your benefit because you're snoring. I said, oh, well, she came to tell me that. And just like the crazy person that I am, I burst out laughing. I said, that has to be a joke, right? And she was like, no. I said, so how long will you be staying with him after that?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, he said he was stopping you from snoring. And I think his real intent was to stop you forever.
Yeah, stop you from breathing. That's a good way to stop
yeah.
a person from snoring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stop you from breathing. That's all.
Just don't even
So
breathe.
don't
don't
consider
breathe.
a pillow over your face where you can't breathe and my feet are flying because I can't breathe. That's not a compliment and it's not an act of love. Okay.
Yeah, he must have some good game if he told her that and he made it
And
like
she was like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, baby, you know you were just snoring real loud, and I just want to make sure that you just turn it down a lot, you know. So yeah, I just
So
did that
let's
just for
smother
you.
Yeah. That is not love.
Yeah, that's not love.
And I'll tell you a personal story though. My husband decided to buy me this really heavy red suit, pantsuit. Pants red, jacket red, wool, lining in it. Does that already make you go, what? That's just too high. Well, he brought that suit in there, and to show you just how grateful I was, as soon as I opened it, I just went into a rage, and I don't usually do that.
It's because it was red.
It was red. It was heavy. He knows I don't wear wool. So I said, who did you get to buy this? Because I know you didn't do it. And he was like, oh, okay. No, I had my sister while she was shot.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You sent your sister, judging from the way she dresses, to buy something for me that you know I don't like.
That was terrible.
And I said I will never wear those two pieces together, ever. So I can take it back.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna wear it. I'm not gonna wear
Together. I don't like that suit, but I'm gonna wear it anyway.
Okay.
Just so you
That
know.
shows me caring. Doesn't it? No. What do you say? No?
I'm gonna give you a pass for this. Bob still
That's like, okay, I'm going to go throw it in the trash because I don't want it at all.
That's because
I'm just
I
not
care.
gonna wear it together.
I just care about him. Show him the difference between what he did and I did.
Oh, my goodness.
What can I say? That's just the way it is. Now, I want to stop that for a minute because I want to bring up some new stuff. We are going to some upcoming stuff. And I want to start with Pastor John here because he's going to be a central factor in getting all of this done. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff you're going to be doing.
Okay.
For Tammy over here, she mentioned it earlier, but it's more imminent than we think because I think you even have a template or something for a website that he'll be able to show you today.
Okay.
So tell him what else you've done. We already kind of mentioned the.
Well, I'm working on graphics design. This spring I'll be going back to Liberty University where I switched my major from Christian leadership to graphic design because I suddenly got this bug in my head that I've become kind of gifted at doing it. So I want to take this as my major because I've been in the ministry for so many years as it is. I have that. I don't need a degree in that. I wanted to specialize in learning how to graphic design. So I make business cards, design websites,
Promo cards, banners, everything. He's doing it all.
Yeah, I've been just doing that and working on my craft. So if anybody's interested, my information will be out there, and I'll be working with, as I said, Tammy Hammer over there and getting her website off the ground. We'll be working on that together, and y'all will be seeing that. And
Yay. I'm really glad to hear good news.
her talents will be expressed through that website and through her own creativity that she'll be bringing to the site.
Well,
All right,
thank
Trade
you,
Chic, we
thank
are
you.
giving you the solid foundation, and we'll be there to support you.
Ooh la la.
And the thing is, I think that what we're doing now is kind of creating this little conglomerate of talent because I feel like I really was thrown into that bowl when I join with Raza here when we start talking about trying to do something just because I want to talk all the time. So why not a podcast? Why don't you do? Oh well, okay, I could do that.
Perfect.
And now we are going into our 3rd year doing this podcast.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
And working with Raza, I'm also shouting him out a lot.
Hey, Rosa.
And
Raza.
Raza is going to be getting us a store to go on our website so that we can feature
Merch.
merch.
Hey.
Yay! It's coming.
Something to think about, merch.
And maybe we can convince certain person at this table. Don't all of you look at Tammy at once. But maybe we can get her to start doing some of her crafts. And she and her daughter make all these different things, bracelets and, you know, what you call those, belly belts or whatever.
All right.
Waist.
Belly belt. Not belly belts.
Ain't it beads or something?
Beaded belts.
Waist beads, maybe.
Yeah, waist beads. Yeah, that's what it is. Waist beads.
Let's make those.
Some lock jewelry.
Well, that's what it does, goes around your belly.
Belly.
Okay.
Now, these supposed to come off or those? You know.
Waist beads. Yeah.
You make them do what you want them to do. But that's going to be it. We're going to be doing some new stuff. I'm going to be featuring more of Layla's poetry. If any of you have talents in that regard, feel free to bring them on. And we're going to start a
Do
whole
my rap
new
video.
thing right now.
Do
And
some singing.
we know that Brian has some singing aspirations, and
Yeah, my rap video.
Pastor John sings.
Yes.
He was singing
45-year-old
something
rapper.
earlier, and maybe we could get him to sing one other tune. But here's very quickly 4 things that you need to write down if you want a healthy relationship. 4 of them. The first one is for you to know yourself. You can't go mix yourself with other people, and you don't even know how you're going to react. You have to know you. And you have to know what your particular boundaries are. You have to know that when somebody says this to me, this is my reaction to it. When they do this to me, this is my reaction to it. And I'm going to let them know they can't go over this line. Those are your boundaries, right?
Right.
Do you all have boundaries?
Oh, yeah.
I sure do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope you do, because without them, it's going to be bad news.
Yep.
But first of all, you know yourself, and then I'll come back to these, and we'll be talking in depth about each one of these things as we go from one episode to another. But the others are 2. The number 2 thing that you do if you're looking for a relationship, and even while you're in one, you can start over with this: interview. Okay?
It's very important.
Make sure you interview the person that you want to be involved with, whether it's romantically, sexually, one night only.
How many
whatever it
kids
is.
do you have?
Yes.
How many kids you not talking about?
Right.
And interview them with the things that are pleasing to you.
Right. Right. Because even if you're in a long-term relationship right now, you might need to do that interview still. Because they get on your nerves more than you want them to. So you have to go back now and redefine what your relationship is. Because the minute you start talking about stuff I don't want to do, you've just lost my attention altogether.
Well, and then people change as they get older. So you have to, kind of reevaluate your relationship at
That's
that
a good
point.
point.
Just like
Because what I said maybe 3 years ago, right now, I'm probably not that's not me anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's true.
Like a guy was telling me that he was a good cook and how he could fix this kind of meal and that kind of meal. I said, oh, well, that sounds really great. I said, it's good to have a guy who knows how to cook. And he said, yeah, so you could come over. I said, ho. You who? Is that a new drink? I'm not coming over your house to cook anything. I said, if you can't
Wait a minute.
take me out to dinner when I'm ready to eat, you will not eat, sir.
He said he can cook.
But he wants you to
And
come
he
over
wouldn't
and cook.
invite me to dinner, but then I'm a cook.
Hold on.
I'm looking for a woman
Wait a
who
minute,
can come
what?
in and cook for me.
He got some good game, don't he?
No, that's why he doesn't have one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because the
Yeah,
women
that
are
was
like,
a bit
what?
confusing. Like what?
Yeah, I want he can cook, but he wants you to come over to cook. Oh, okay.
He
yeah.
wanted to bring me in with the collard
Is he a little
greens.
special, mayy?
I told him, I
That's
said,
like
no,
that bait
honey.
and
I said,
switch.
you are just
Yeah,
Like catfish.
sharpening the wrong ball.
you cooking? Oh,
Yeah, wait a minute, what?
yeah.
But that's stuff you can do together. It's not gender specific. See, there's a whole bunch of examples like that. But all of you have the right idea for the interview. And no matter when you have it, it's important. Because like Tammy was just saying, you may just have to sit down now and have a new interview because that one that I did a year ago where I used to bring you water all the time, not happening.
All right, I'm no longer bringing
The
you water.
new job responsibilities.
Exactly. So after the interview, really these can't be in order by 1, 2, 3 because all of these to me are on the same line. Communicate. You have to talk to each other. You have to find out what's going on, what you like, what you don't like, where you're going to go, and what's your reaction going to be when you've identified your boundaries.
Yeah.
You have to talk.
Yeah, I think it's important that you have those uneasy conversations.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of people, you know, and me as a man, I know that I really shy away from those uncomfortable conversations, but you definitely have to have those.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a good communicator.
Well, if you sit there and you know that you're not, that's the first thing you talk about. I have to say, you know what, I'm really not good at this. I'm not good at trying to express my feelings. But what I want you to know is, if you come over here again without some money in your pocket, that would be the last time you come. You just got to be clear. I mean, it may be uncomfortable, so what you do is go find something that you can hold on to that makes you feel better. Some people use a paper clip or a paper towel, whatever, and just hold it in your hand while you're talking. And you can get your point across. They'll understand when you're done. And you don't have to be an orator for you to be able to express your opinions. You just tell them.
I hold on to stuff and then I blow up at the end. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'll hold it all in, and then when that time comes, I'll be like, you know what? And then that's when I communicate. But then by that time,
It's all been out of shape.
Yeah, so that little
I try not to do that.
Communication becomes ineffective.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, because
so-
you're not listening. You're not doing what you said, listening to the person, and because everything is coming at once, you don't even know which points are valid and which points
I'm
aren't.
working on it.
But you're gonna, yeah,
That's what you have
it's
to
a
do.
work in progress.
When you know what problems you're having, then you can share them with somebody else. So if you already know who you are, and I already feel like I know who I am, we just have to share that. Just have to say, look, I'm really no good at that. And it's like I tell people, because I don't like to talk very much, and I'm not good at communicating.
Wait a minute. Who is that?
Yeah. Is that you?
I said I am not a good communicator.
Wait a
and
minute,
I don't
what?
like to talk.
Rewind. Rewind it. Rosa, rewind it back. Replay.
Well, it's true. And the reason now, if
It
you're
is
disagreeing
kinda.
with me, it means I have overcome that negative thing in my personal development.
No, I can agree with you though on that.
And I feel so much sarcasm under that. I just don't know why.
No, really, I can. And you want me to elaborate, but I'm not. But I can agree with you on that because we're moving on to the next.
The next thing,
Next
which
point.
is negotiate.
Yeah, that too.
That's the thing. Because if we get to a point where I like white rice and you like brown rice, and we can only have one type of rice for dinner, is that a controversy or what? Yes.
Yes.
It's a problem because now if I give in to you because you want white rice, or you give it to me because I want brown.
Who wants brown rice?
Brown people.
Also,
Well, the compromise is
Yeah,
okay. Neither one of us gonna have rice.
compromise.
Let's negotiate.
How about we just have a salad and call it a day?
Or how about we just have some mashed potatoes?
Right. A piece of bread, whatever. We just won't have rice. I mean, what? You're not gonna have your rice and be able to eat it
We'll do pasta.
in peace.
And see, there's always that possibility that you are going to get used to changing up everything because you can't negotiate with that person.
Right.
So you're going to find another platform for your disagreements. So it's like this. If I've told you that I don't like to write and you keep bringing a pen and a piece of paper, I've already told you I don't like to write. So what you will learn is don't bother me after I say that.
That's about control, though.
Yeah. And you have to be in control. And if you're not in control, take control. It's your privilege to do that.
That's right.
You take control and you no, I don't want to do that. Oh, but come on and do it for me. I'm not doing it for you or anybody else. I'm not doing it.
If I don't like to clean, but you do, hey, go right ahead. We negotiate that. We work that out.
Right.
Real quick.
Like, be at your best. Let me help you be at your
Don't you
best.
know?
But somebody has to give. I mean,
Yeah.
in any situation, even if I don't want to do it, sometimes you have to give in a little
I
bit.
think you compromise and you pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, you
it's just like, certain things that, okay, all right, I have some leeway, but then certain things it's just a hard
No.
It's just a hard no.
but then like, okay, I'm not gonna really trip or, lose any sleep because
Because in that instance, you decide, okay, well, today why don't we have what you like? And then the next time this decision comes up, we'll have what I like.
yeah.
And then when I'm eating what you like, and I don't necessarily like have extra sauce, maybe, or
Right.
my favorite seasoning on it or something to make me at least be able to enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's where you come.
Well, I would just give you kind of a warning where she's concerned, though. Don't take her out to dinner because she is not going to be satisfied with anything. So if you know how to cook, you better cook whatever it is she likes because she goes to the daggone restaurant and order a pizza with no cheese and no pepperoni and no sausage, no nothing. But she'll have a pepperoni pizza with no sauce. Ugh.
Hello? Can I?
Well, see, we don't have to like that, though.
Yeah, but
We get her a small.
you didn't even try it.
I tried it.
See, one thing about it, you have to at least try it to say you don't like it.
That's true.
You can't look at it and be like, ugh, I don't like that. You never tried it.
Oh, yes, I can.
No, you can't.
You're not going to force that crap
Come
down
on
my
now,
throat.
somebody agree with me.
We agree, Tammy.
How you gonna look at my pizza and say, oh no, it's not good, but you didn't even try it?
I don't want to try it.
We'll get separate pieces. I'll try some of yours.
Hold on, that's what my son said. Hello, my oldest son said that.
With no
With
cheese.
no cheese.
Yeah, but hold on. My son said that, and guess what? Every time I get it, guess who's eating it?
Him.
A pizza with no cheese on it?
I mean,
I'm allergic.
Wow.
I mean, I have, it doesn't agree with me.
You're lactose intolerant.
Yes.
Gotcha.
yeah.
I mean, in some
But then you
cases.
can get
And
like,
finicky and a bunch of other things. But
The cheese just doesn't agree with me. So.
yeah. I love cheese, so.
cheese is never willing to negotiate.
I had 2 pieces of cheese on my sandwich today.
Oh, wow. And
So since you like cheese, you love cheese, and I said, well, I don't like cheese. So how do we come to a
yeah, how do you have macaroni and
you
cheese?
get separate pizzas. You get your pizza, and I get my pizza, and all the stuff.
Oh, there we go. See,
I mean, you can be separate but equal.
that's how you
so-
negotiate.
And see, on top of everything else I mentioned about Brian earlier, he's a chief negotiator.
Yes, he is.
All
I mean,
right.
but just the simple, you don't have to get the same pizza.
It's simple, but I mean, people complicate it to death. So everybody with
all about
relationships,
negotiating.
got to be
As
my
long as
way
she's smiling
or
and
no
you eating that
way.
pizza and we having a good time, hey, that's the most important to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Enjoying each other's company.
There you go.
What you can do if you start practicing some of these things. And one thing that came out of this that I think is, as I said earlier, pure gold, is for you to listen. If somebody does get the nerve to talk, listen. Even though you're thinking, gee, I wish I was in Nebraska or somewhere to listen to this mess. But you still listen.
And one thing about listening, if a person tells you who they are, believe them too.
Yes.
Because sometimes we listen and we formulate our own and then be like, hold on, didn't I tell you that was who I am? You know, but why
now
are
you don't like
you
it.
know, why is it a problem? Or, you know, I told you what I was going to do. And now you don't believe me.
But then you find a lot of women in circumstances like that. If she feels like you're financially worthy, she will drop all of her feelings about the fact that you said that. Same as many of them would take him after they beat him up one side of the staircase and down the other. Well, I'm gonna marry him because he's a football player. That should never take place over your happiness. It should never take
Well,
place. So see, she's about to waver now, right? Well, listen, everybody, I'll tell you what, this has just been very educational, and I hope our listeners find it educational that way. And if you take nothing else away from this conversation, take this, that you are who you are. You were made to be a certain way. And somebody wants to come in and alter all of your DNA, all your thoughts, and everything else. They don't care about you.
No.
Find you somebody who cares. Let that matter. Now, either of you have a closing remark you want to make, because we're going to play like EXIT and exit.
well, I have one since Tony isn't here. Tony, I got you. It's all about mental health. Mental health,
Amen.
right?
Well,
Right.
yes.
Because that would be something that Tony would kind of, put in there.
Harmonize.
Yeah. So feel better, Tony.
Feel better, Tony. We want you to
Yes,
feel
Tony.
better.
Get well.
Yes, indeed. And just to go do another quick shout out for those heroes that we mentioned today, Richard.
Richard in Tampa, Florida.
Yes, and Barbara in Fredericksburg, Virginia. By now she has finished her 5K walk.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just
Hey,
real
Barbara.
proud of her for that. And Brian, thank you for bringing that jewel into this conversation, because we're going to make that be 5 reasons now.
All right.
So I appreciate that. If we just learn to listen to each other and talk to each other, then all those relationships that you're having problems with, they'll just iron themselves right out. Because once you talk about it, you don't have to keep talking about it. Well, I want all of you to know that I care about you. I do.
I care about you too.
I care
appreciate
about
I
you.
care about you.
I care about everyone.
She's so fake.
Mercy.
Wait a minute, I don't understand this. I say what I feel, and this is what I get.
Oh, goodness. See, and we weren't listening.
We listen.
No, you wasn't listening.
listening.
I'm trying to communicate.
And we're not listening. Well, Layla and Raza, we care about you too. And we want you to know that as we grow, we're going to grow together. I think we have a strength that's going to move us there.
All right.
So for today, I'm just going to say what?
Bye.